Mike Gunter here from the Well in Williston. Welcome into this edition of Teton Basketball right here on the Williston State Tetons YouTube page. Just under 4 minutes before we get ready to go for the Teton men's game against a very good North Idaho Cardinals team. As they come in, Cardinals have had a 3-3 record so far on the year, although 2 of those losses came to the perennial very stout Casper College, and 1 came from the Northwest College, also out of Wyoming. So they've come against some very stout competitions. They have wins against South Plains College. That one came in overtime. That was a Northwest College win, 86-70, or lost to South Plains College in overtime. 103-102 wins against Northwest College, as well as Western Wyoming Community College, and yesterday they won against Lake Region State right here at the Well. Talking to Coach Herman, he said that this team may be one of the best teams, if not the best team, the Tetons come up against all season long. It'll be a tough test here for Williston State, and the Tetons will be a little bit short-handed here in this one. Demetrius Kindle going down last night with a hamstring and ankle injury that he suffered in a win against Rocky Mountain's JV squad. The Tetons came away with a big-time win in that one against Rocky Mountain JV with 118 points scored in that game for Williston State. So big-time victory for the Tetons. As Williston State is now at 4-2 overall. That final last night, 118-67. Led by Rex Sterling, the big man down low. He was cleaning the boards up against an undersized Rocky Mountain squad. He'll have his work cut out for him against a very tall and athletic Cardinals team. Taking a look at that Cardinals team, seeing what they have for size, as they've come 6'7", 6'8", and a bunch of 6'6s with even a 6'11 and a couple of 6'10s. The Tetons will have to have their work cut out for them and see what they can do with their starting 5 that they have on. The Tetons will have a little bit of a depth advantage here over the Cardinals. See if they can put it to work and come away with their 2nd straight home win in front of Teton faithful in the final game of the Teton Booster Classic. Tetons huddling up here on the court before they head to their benches and get a last conversation with their coaching staff. Tetons this year are coached under third-year head coach Alex Herman, and they look to see if they can have a much improved year. This Teton team is the most talented team that Coach Herman has had thus far, and they go about 11 deep. We'll have to see. Without Kindle, they'll put a big pressure on some more of that bench coming off They have a very, very sturdy bench. And they can sub early and often, so get lots of guys, lots of breaths, so they can put all the effort they can. Before we get going, we will read one of the Tetons sponsors out. Is for more than 70 years, Expanse Electrical has delivered market-leading electrical power and automation experience built upon a legacy of technology, quality, and craftsmanship. They're confident they have the best team in the industry and welcome the opportunity to serve you. They're proud to be a member of the Williston community as well as continually work to build a better future for their company, their craftsmen, and their customers. Interested in powering up your career? Visit expanseelectrical.com/careers to learn about their openings in the North Dakota region. Everyone getting ready to go now. It is the Cardinals. Have their starting five on the bench, getting a last-second coach up before we tip off here from Williston State. Now time for the starting lineups for this Cardinals team. Come out will be number 0, Vaughn Weems, a 6'5 sophomore from Federal Way, Washington. Followed up by number 2, Equan Brown, a 6'8 freshman guard forward from Tacoma, Washington. Number 10, Tayshawn Colvin, a 6-foot sophomore guard from Spokane Valley, Washington. Number 22, Tautoko Wynyard, a 6'10 freshman forward from Auckland, New Zealand. And it'll be finished up by number 23, a 6'3 sophomore guard, Bryce Henry from Rathdrum, Idaho. Now time for the starting lineups for the home team on tonight's scoreboard, the Williston State Tetons. Coming out first of the huddle for Williston State. From Williston, North Dakota, a 6'4 sophomore guard, Will Olson. Next, number 5, a 5'8 sophomore guard from Powers Lake, North Dakota, Tyson Inget. Number 11, a 6'4 sophomore guard from Minot, North Dakota, Ian Johnson. Number 13, Mackay Marks, a 6'4 sophomore guard forward from Omaha, Nebraska. And the big man in the middle for Williston State, a 6'8 sophomore forward from Melbourne, Australia, number 25, Rex Sterling. So the Tetons getting the last words of wisdom from Coach Herman and their coaching staff as they want to look to see Coach Herman has his chalkboard out and making sure the Tetons have their first play set to go. Cardinals already in the center circle. Waiting to jump for the Cardinals will be Brown, and he'll be going up against Sterling. So now Tetons set to break the huddle. 20 minutes up on the American State Bank scoreboard here at the Well in Williston. The Tetons looking to cut their teeth against a very, very strong team. Sterling and Brown shake hands in the center circle, and we are just seconds away from Teton basketball tipping off here from Williston. The scoreboard is ready. Officials are ready. Here's the tip-off. Brown's going to tip it up. Sterling tips it back, and it's going to be taken away by Weems. Cardinals take over. Colvin has it up on top. Give and go, and it's going to be through the hands of Weems and out of bounds. He would have had a big-time flush to start, and the Tetons now get the inbound pass. Inget pushes it up to Olson. Back to Inget. Tetons looking to break the press. Swings it over to Johnson. Back to Olson. Up on top to Inget. As Williston State settles up in the half court. Tetons a little bit undersized out on the court. Johnson driving. Finds Olson in the corner. No one open up on top to Johnson. He fires from range. In and in it goes. Hit the rim. Got the shooter's touch. Ian Johnson starts off hot for the Tetons. They take a 3-0 lead. Back comes the Cardinals up on top. Brown's going to drive. Stolen away by Johnson. Doing it at both ends of the court early. Inget racing up the court. He's a blur over to Olson. Pump fake. Back to Inget. He's going to drive. Penetrate underneath to Sterling. Lays up and hoop on the horn. Rex Sterling with his first bucket and a chance at the line for a three-point play. Tetons firing quickly as they'll look to try and grind this one out. Chance to pull up with an early 6-point lead if Sterling can knock down the harm part of the hoop and the harm as he goes to the line for one shot. Sterling and the Tetons in their home greens, Cardinals in their road whites as that free throw is up and good. So now a 6-0 lead for Williston State. Tetons with a little bit of token pressure as up comes Weems and the Cardinals. He'll cross the timeline as the clock ticks down now to 19 minutes left to go in the first half. High post to Wynyard. He'll hand it off over to Brown. Brown rises and fires from the charity stripe. No good. Pulled down by Marks. He'll get it off to Inget, who runs the court. He'll slow things down as he crosses the timeline. Looking underneath. Couldn't quite get Olsen. Johnson underneath to Sterling. Back up on top to Inget. Inget pump fake over to Olsen. Baseline to Sterling. 17-footer off the mark. No good. Pulled down by Henry as he gets it off over to Colvin, who marches up across the sideline. Colvin thought about a three-pointer, didn't take it. Now to Henry on top of the perimeter. He'll hand it off to Brown. Now to Weems. Back underneath, tipped away by Johnson again. And the Tetons get their second steal of the game over to Olsen. Pump fake, Sterling, low post. Inget driving back to Sterling underneath. No good. Offensive rebound by Inget. Shortest guy in the court comes away with one. Hook pass over to Johnson. He'll take off. He'll float it up. North Dakota floater, no good. And Sterling can't quite keep it in. It's going to go back to the Cardinals here with 18:04 left to go. So the Tetons with some good looks on offense so far, as their defense has really crashed in. Inget now with some full court press on Colvin, who march across the timeline. Gets it over to Weems on the far perimeter. He is a fantastic player. Drives on Sterling. Hook shot up and in. And that's Vaughn Weems. You'll see his name early and often here in this one. He had a rim-shaking dunk against Lake Region late in the game. That tensions rose a little bit. And there's going to be a throw in the backcourt. It's going to be picked up by Weems. He'll pick it up on the perimeter. Can't quite get enough momentum to race down towards the rim. He'll flip it over to Colvin. Colvin into the corner. Gets it to Brown. Drives baseline. Paps it off underneath. And it's going to be put up and in by Wynyard for 2 points. That'll cut the lead for the Tetons down to 2. Inget to Olsen. Back to Inget. Gets across the timeline to Sterling. Long pass over to Will Olsen, who will drive. He's going to be cut off. Second effort. And he's going to have it tipped away from behind. So the Tetons will retain possession. And they'll be inbounding underneath their own basket. Inget will set a trigger from his own baseline. Calls for action. Tetons side screen, late to develop play in the corner. Olsen swings it over to Johnson. Lost a handle on the ball. Loose ball on the ground, picked up by Colvin. It's going to be stolen by Inget. Gets it off to Olsen. Long from way downtown. Off the mark, no good. Marks with an offensive board, and it's going to be off of Mackay Marks, out of bounds. He was crushed by Henry. And Coach Herman not happy that there wasn't a call and a foul made on that one, as they're letting him play early on this one. Coach Herman staring daggers at the official who made the call. Here comes a drive now by Colvin, cut off by Inget. Fadeaway jumper by Colvin, misses, no good, pulled down by Marks. Back comes Tyson up the court for Williston State for subset to come in for the Cardinals. Inget loses the handle, he regains control, drives, gets into the paint. He'll flip it up on top to Marks. Back to Olsen. Tetons with 18 left on the shot clock. Bounce pass over to Tyson Inget. Looking for Johnson. High post. Nothing there. He'll get underneath to Sterling. And Sterling's going to be blocked out of bounds. No, it's going to be saved by Colvin. So Sterling will have to be a little bit stronger with his athletic and springy Cardinal squad. Long pass over to Brown on the far wing. 3 is going to be good. Naquan Brown hits the first long ball of the game for the Cardinals, and they take a 1-point lead now, 7-6, with 16:08 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. Over to Inget, he takes off, gets into the paint, underneath for Sterling, reverse layup up and in. Sterling using the rim to protect the shot, and the Tetons are back up by 1. Sterling with 5 points so far in the game. Back up come the Cardinals. Weems have it on top of the perimeter, picks up a screen from Henry. Out to Wynyard. Wynyard looking for Colvin, finds him on top. Back to Henry. Down low, underneath, layup. There is Weems with 2 more. He has 4 in the game early. Johnson to Inget, now up to Olsen. Back to Inget, will work him way across the timeline. Finds Olsen now. 2 Tetons had to come in. A bullet pass set for Johnson. Goes through his hands, and the Cardinals will take over. North Idaho has a 1-point lead, 9-8. Taking closer to 15 minutes left in the first. Step back, Weems gets it on top to Wynyard. Wynyard looking to hand off, give and go out to Brown. Brown fires from range, no good, tipped around. It's going to be Sterling who pulls it down, gets it off to Olsen, and Olsen lays it up and in. First points of the game for Will. And Williston State back up on top by 1. Back and forth we go. Now a trio Tetons set to come in at the next stoppage. Under 15 minutes left to go. Colvin swings it to the far wing over to Brown. Brown pulls up from the elbow, and that one will fall off, no good. Marks will come away with it. He'll get it up to Will Olsen. Back comes Williston State, looking to expand their precarious 1-point lead. Inget now has it near the timeline. Barking out directions. a second. Cardinal set to come into the game. Three-pointer from the corner from Will Olsen, a little too hard. Olsen got hit on the play, looking for a foul. It didn't come. Back comes Weems, weaving through. He'll put it up and in. 2 more for Weems. He has 6. Back up on top by 1. Go the Cardinals. Ian Johnson now marching up the court. Gets it to Olsen. Back to Johnson. He'll put it on the deck. Keeping his body away. Underneath to Sterling. Pump fake. Uses body to get some contact. No call, but he gets it to go. Nonetheless, now 12-11. Back and forth we go. 4 Tetons set to check in. 4 Cardinals set to check in. We're just about ready for a line change here. 13:55, 1-point game, 12-11 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Henry gets it off to Weems. He fires from range, in and out, no good. Inget comes down to the board. Tetons working up. Inget may have gotten the shot in the lower abdomen on the rebound. He gets across the timeline, picks up a Sterling screen. Looking for a player to get it off to. Marks, pump fake, gets his man off guard. Three-pointer, in it goes. Mackay Marks with his first bucket. Second three-pointer of the half for Williston State, who are back up by 4. They held on to a 6-0 lead to start the game. Back comes Colvin. Works his way down onto the near wing. Pushes it back up on top. Wynyard now has it. Looking for a teammate to get it off to. Finds Weems. Weems give and go back to Wynyard, and he'll put it down for the short-range dunk. 2 points for Wynyard, as that'll now make it just a 2-point Teton lead, 15-13. Back comes Tyson up the court. He's being hounded this time by Colvin. Over to Johnson. Thought about a big three-pointer. He'll penetrate. Kick out to Olsen. Olsen rises underneath to Sterling. Can't handle a pass. He gets it back to Marks, who fires for another one. Off, no good. Sterling wrestles for it. It's going to go off of Wynyard's hands and out of bounds, and that'll bring us to the first media timeout. As 4 players sub in and out for each squad. We're going to take a break to catch our breaths here as the action is fast and furious. Tetons up by 2, 15-13. They'll have the ball when we come back. Back here for Teton basketball. Tetons have the ball. Lone player still out on the court. The lone starter out on the court is Vaughn Weems for the Cardinals. DU, Pleasant, Marbury, and Simmons checked in. Inbound pass. Going to go up on top to Massey, working his way around to Hobbs. Hobbs in the corner to Yambi. Yambi drives, kicks in the corner to McDonald. Quick twitch three, in and out, no good. Tipped up by Sterling. It'll be pulled down by Simmons, and he'll get it off now to Marbury. He'll push it up the court onto the far wing. He'll find Pleasant down to the low post, working on Hobbs. Jump hook, no good. That was off the hand of DU. Pushing up is McDonald, a dynamic player. Seeing his first action here in the game. Gets it to Sterling. Back to McDonald, working his way, penetrating. Can't find anybody. Massey now to Yambi. Going to be a drive. It's cut off over to McDonald. Looking to shimmy and shake. Gets into the paint. Looks for anyone to get it off to. No one there. Hobbs on the baseline. He's going to reverse layup. Up and good. Eden Hobbs with the bucket. And the Tetons push their lead back out to 4. Back up the court comes Sam Marbury. Saw heavy minutes in a big rotational effort against the Royals yesterday. High post can be cut off is Pleasant. He finds Dia up on top. Now to Marbury. Guarded by Hobbs. Out to Simmons. Looking down low to Dia. Mismatch against McDonald. And the very, very tall Deng Diu gets the bucket in there for 2. 17-15. Hobbs driving, and he's going to be stripped from behind by Diu. And that'll be an inbound pass now coming as we have a sub coming in for Williston State as Freedom Leon will make his first appearance. He'll come in for Rex Sterling. So all 5 starters are on the bench for Williston State, but a very capable 5 on the court for the Tetons now. Inbounding it, Yambi looking for options. Hobbs curling, nothing there. Finds Leon on the perimeter. Freedom drives, spins, gets his man up in the air, loses it on the way up, gets it back and puts it up and in. Freedom with 2. He had a big game yesterday for the Tetons, looking for another big one here. Back up the court comes Marbury. Gets it over on the wing to Weems. Weems, a little shake and bake, going to drive on Massey, and a hoop and the harm. As Richard Massey will pick up the foul, Vaughn Weems gets the bucket, brings it back down to a 2-point game, 19-17 on the American State Bank scoreboard with a free throw to try and cut it back down to 1. And Weems hanging on the rim as he got up there as the rim was a little bit out of sorts. We've had issues with that all weekend long here for the Tetons. And Coach Herman again still in the ear of the official, battling for his guy. Weems with 8 points so far in the game, looking for 9 here, and he knocks down the free throw to make it a 1-point game. Back up the court comes the Tetons. McDonald drives, layup, razzle-dazzle. Josiah McDonald for 2. Tetons back up by a triple. Here comes Marbury back up the court. He's going to look to work his way around. Now hands it off on top to Pleasant. Working on to Hobbs. He'll pull it back. Pleasant, step back, 3-pointer for the tie, and he knocks it down. We're tied up at 21 apiece, and there's going to be a timeout called by the Cardinals, and it's going to be a short one. While we have a quick break, we'll mention one of the Teton sponsors here. It's going to be Ruac Resources, a locally owned and operated ready-mix concrete, trucking, and sand and gravel producer. Large infrastructure projects to your driveway. They can provide top-quality products with uncommon hospitality. Give them a call, 701-664-3500. In addition, if you want to join a growing dynamic community, they're looking for different positions from CDL drivers to mechanics to heavy equipment operators. Their core focus is serving others and each other. Check them out on Facebook, roacresources.com. 10:47 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. 21 apiece in a big-time matchup for the Tetons against a very, very good North Idaho team. Back at the court comes the Tetons. Hobbs has it over to Massey in the corner. High post, back to Hobbs. McDonald thought about a 3. Off to Massey. Baseline drive, back to McDonald. McDonald fires. Got it to go! Josiah McDonald, the 3rd triple of the half for Williston State. Long pass over to Weems, who returns the favor, and he knocks it down. Weems now up to 12 points. He is a dynamic player. Back up the court comes Yambi, gets it over to Hobbs, drives in the paint. Yambi for 3, back-to-back 3-pointers. Ben Yambi for 3, and the Tetons pull back up by a 3-pointer, 27-24. Closing in on 10 minutes left to go in the half. Pleasant has the ball on the near wing. Up on top, it'll go to Simmons. Swings it over to Marbury. He drives, swings over to Weems. 3-pointer coming from Pleasant, and that one's going to go in to tie it back up. A 3-point barrage by both teams, and back comes Yambi. Now to Hobbs, puts it on the deck. Looking for McDonald, couldn't find him. Over to Massey. Massey to McDonald. McDonald for 3! Off the mark, no good. Pulled down by Pleasant. Back come the Cardinals up the court. Under 10 minutes left to go. Sterling said to check it back in for Williston State. Coming in for the Cardinals on the next break is Irvin. Dieng underneath. That's going to be no good. Long rebound pulled down by Yambi. He takes a shot. No foul. Dieng is going to be down. Over to Hobbs. Back to Yambi. In the corner. Scoop pass. Too high for McDonald. It'll be a Teton turnover. And we'll have subs coming in now. Sterling said to check back in for the Tetons. We know they're going to call an offensive foul as Hobbs will check out. Sterling will come back in. So a 2-center look for Williston State. Diu checks out of the game. Coming in for him, number 20, Ja'Cory Irvin. Back at the court now comes Vaughn Weems. 12 points, a game high. He'll get it off onto the near wing to Pleasant. Give and go underneath to Marbury. And Marbury puts it up and over Sterling for a point-blank shot. And that'll give this Cardinals team the lead, 29-27. McDonald up on top. Yambi over to Massey. Thought about a 3-pointer. Gives it back to Yambi. Tetons give it back. Massey, 3 off the mark. No good. Massey couldn't come down with it. Weems being hounded by McDonald. He gets it off to Marbury, who pushes it up the court in the corner. 3-pointer for Pleasant, and that one's going to be good. Pleasant hits his second three-pointer, and there's going to be a quick timeout called for the Tetons. They want to talk about some things. And while the Tetons take a quick break here, before we get back to go here in this one with 8:36 left to go, we will take a break ourselves. When we come back, we'll have more Teton basketball right here on the Williston State YouTube page. We're back and ready to go. Tetons now trail by 5, 32-27, 8.5 left to go in the first. Sterling back in the game. Yambi high pass to Freedom. Back out to Yambi, looking for action. Freedom underneath to Sterling, gets a couple of men in the air, and he'll draw the foul. Good pump fake for Sterling. He'll head back to the line. He's 1 for 1 so far from the stripe. And Rex now looking to cut the lead down to one possession if he can knock down both of them. Rex already has 7 points in the game. And this North Idaho team has gotten on fire from beyond the arc. Rex made this first one from the line, is going to rattle out, no good. He'll have one more coming. Substitution now coming out of the game is Simmons. And a quick check out by Weems, who's now back into the game. Also, Niquan Brown checks back in for this Cardinal squad. Sterling, second of 2. That one's going to be no good. So an empty set for the Tetons. They hustle back on defense. And a long pass is going to be safe from going out of bounds. It's going to be intercepted. Sterling gets it up. A 3-on-2 break. McDonald from the wing. 3. Got it to go! McDonald with his second triple. And the Tetons back within a bucket. Back of the court comes Marbury. He hands it off to Weems. Weems comes across the high screen. Flip pass over to Pleasant. And Pleasant's going to be whistled for the walk to give it back to Williston State. A couple more subs coming in for the Tetons. Out of the game is going Leon as well as Yambi. And coming back in is Johnson and Inget. Back up the court now. Tyson Inget gets it over to McDonald. Back to Inget in the corner to Mazzy. Underneath to Sterling. Sterling's going to be corralled by a couple, and he's going to be fouled on the way up. Brown had a good chance for a block there. But it looks like there was one of the players just got a little bit of their hands extended downwards for some contact with Rex. That one is going to go on Irvin. He came in just a few minutes ago and has picked up his second personal foul. It's the 4th team foul. Tetons sitting on 2. Sterling, who had an empty set from the line the last trip down for the Tetons. Now the chance for 2 more. That one is going to be up and good. He'll have one more from the stripe. 32-31, 7:45 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. Rex Sterling from the line for 1. Chance to tie it up. Sterling lets it fly, and that one's going to be in as well. Sterling now 3 for 5 from the stripe. Inbound pass. Tetons a little bit of token pressure. They'll fall away after the inbound pass. Gets to Weems. He'll cross the timeline. Over it goes to Pleasant. Being hounded with Inget in his back pocket. He'll get it up on top to Irvin. Looking on the wing. He'll find Weems. There's going to be an offensive foul called on Naquan Brown. And the turnover will give the ball back to the Tetons, who will have a chance to reclaim the lead. Out of the game goes Irvin with 2 early fouls. Coming back in for him was Tayshawn Colvin. Coach Irvin calling out a new play. Johnson will get it into Inget. He'll push it across the timeline. Back over to Johnson. Finds Inget on the far wing. Sterling a little bit confused. He'll flare out. Posting up down low. Pass is going to be taken away. Here comes a run out from Weems. And here comes a big flush. Von Weems up to a game-high 14 as the Cardinals take a 2-point lead. Tetons going to have to be very secure with the ball with these long and athletic wing defenders. Tyson now over to McDonald. Back up to Inget. Looking for someone. McDonald again, working his way through, back up on top of the perimeter. Thought about a 3-pointer. Bounce pass over to Inget. He's going to slice through. Johnson on the low post. He'll take a couple of bounces, flips it into the corner. McDonald open look. Off the mark, no good. Lots of battling down low. They're going to get it up to Pleasant. He'll be cut off by Johnson on the wing. Now over to Brown, driving on McDonald. He'll walk through, and they're going to call a foul. No, they're going to call a travel on Brown. Wow, what a bailout call by the Tetons. And Brown arguing that he got a gather step, and the coach for this Cardinal team not happy with that call, as he's letting the officials know about it, and he's a very, very fiery, passionate and coach out there. So we have a media timeout here on the court. Tetons trail by 2, 34-32. We'll be back in a bit for more Teton basketball right here on the Williston State College YouTube page.
On the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw, built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new steel backpack blower or blower back and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your steel this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Mike Ritter back here for Teton basketball on the Williston State College YouTube page, where you can listen to Teton athletics all season long, as the Teton men's basketball team in a big dogfight here against North Idaho College and the Cardinals. Teton's ball. 6:35 left to go in the first. Sterling gets it in the mid-post area. Johnson with a big foot fake. Just going to be tipped out of bounds, and that'll be off the fingertips of Von Weems. Weems has 14 points, and he is a hounding defender as well as a highlight offensive player. Johnson now has it. Gets it over to McDonald. Thought about another three-pointer. Looking down low for Sterling. Nothing there. Up on top to Massey. Back to McDonald. Finds the entry post to Sterling. Looking for a cutting Johnson. It's going to snip through. Ingot's going to lay it up. Tons of contact. How is that not a foul? And the ball will go into the hands of Marbury. Coach Herman is beside himself. Ingot just about got wrapped up in a form tackle. High post now to Marbury. He'll hand it off to Weems. Massey with good defense. He'll cross over, look to get through, and he'll go. He'll be fouled by McDonald, and McDonald thought he got all ball in that one. Got a little bit of the arm on Weems, and Weems will go to the line for a pair to look to improve on his 14 points so far in the first half. Weems at the stripe for a pair. So far in the game, the Tetons have made both teams have made 5 3-pointers, as Weems will knock down the first of 2. That'll now make the 6th point from the line for this Northern Idaho team. He'll have one more coming from the stripe, and he knocks down that one as well, as that'll push Northern Idaho up to their largest lead of the game, 36-32, a 4-point advantage. Over will go to Massey, now back to Johnson. Johnson looking for Ingot, good defense by the Cardinals. Looking down low, he's going to find McDonald in the far corner. McDonald had to sky for that pass. Johnson, backwards pass. He's looking to get it to someone. Finds Massey. Over to Ingot. Baseline drive to Sterling in the low post area. Flips it up and in. Tough shot by Sterling, who's up now to 11 points to lead the Tetons. Back up the court comes Colvin. Subset to come in. It's Dew set to check in for the Cardinals. Weems driving. He'll spin. Flips it over into the corner. Here's going to be a drive again and a little floating shot. Who's going to get the shooter's touch by Dace Pleasant to put it in for 2 more. Back up to a 4-point advantage. 38-34. McDonald gets it over to Ingot. Back to McDonald on top of the perimeter. Thought about a very deep 3-pointer. Said he'll swing it over to Johnson. Looking for Sterling high post. Johnson cut off from penetrating. Massey in the low post. He'll drive off the backboard. No good. Tipped up. Sterling puts it back up and in. 2 more for Rex. As the Tetons now back within 2 points. 38-36. 4:42 left to go in the half. Marbury's going to drive baseline. Gets a step on McDonald's. Lays it up and in. Sam Marbury. Great jab step to get a seam. And he put it up and in for 2 more. He has 4 points. Back comes Johnson. And he's going to have the pass tipped away, telegraphed a little bit, intercepted by Pleasant. He'll get it over to Brown. He's going to be stripped by Ingot. And a great defensive recovery. Hobbs set to check in, as is Now 3 more Tetons coming out of the game will be Pleasant with Diu Chasen. Out of the game goes Massey, Johnson, McDonald, and Inget. In is coming Hobbs, Yambi, also Marks, and Olson. Ball up on top. Weems, long three-pointer. That's going to be up, no good. Dion's going to tip it back to himself. Working against Sterling. Puts it up, and Dion gets the bucket to go. 2 more points for this Cardinal team as they push the lead up to 6, and there's going to be a ball knocked out of bounds. So Dion gets the bucket. Now he has 4 points in the game. Inbound play coming. Yambi looking over in the corner. Gets it back for him. He's going to tip it away again, but Olsen there to take it back. He'll get it into the corner for Hobbs. Baseline drive for Hobbs. He's going to sky. And lots of contact. Sterling's going to take it up, and Sterling will be fouled on the way up. Not sure how Hobbs didn't get the whistle for the foul on the drive, but it'll send Rex Sterling back to the line for a pair. No at the stripe. 2 more for Rex Sterling. Sterling currently has 13 points for Williston State. First one, roll off the front of the rim, no good. He'll have 1 more coming. It's Olsen, Marks, Sterling, Hobbs, and Yambi on the court. Sterling up for his second of 2. That one is good. Rex with 1 more from the line. Make it now 37-42. Back come the Cardinals, swinging over into the near wing to Brown. Look to work it up on top to Diu. Now over to Marbury. Marbury weaving his way into the paint. A sky hook, that's going to be no good. And Hobbs going to save it from going out of bounds, but it's going to be Marbury who slides out of bounds as he has his hands on the ball, so that'll give it back to the Tetons. Williston State trailing by 5, 42-37 Tetons. Looking to go on a run here. Back up the court comes Yambi. He'll stutter. Looking for Hobbs, can't find him. Have to keep it away from Weems. Looking to shoot the passing lane. Marks into the corner, nothing there. Back up to Hobbs. Hobbs to Yambi. Olsen flares up on top. Olsen had an opening. Hobbs with a foot fake on Diu. He gets going to get spin moves into the paint. Nothing open. Yambi underneath to Sterling. Pump fake, puts it up, no good. And that'll come down into the hands of Brown. Very active defenders down low. As Coach Herman still barking at the officials up the court. Colvin has it, picked up his dribble. He'll hand it off now over on top to Weems. Another sub set to come in. Weems curling around, cut off by Yambi. Flips it up on top to Diu. 3-pointer over Sterling, and Diu knocks down a 3-pointer. 6th 3-pointer of the half for this Cardinals team as they extend their lead up to 8 points, 45-37. Hobbs has the ball. Tetons. And get called for the travel as that'll be a sub coming in for North Idaho. Marbury checking out of the game. Coming back in is Pleasant. An 8-point lead now for North Idaho, their largest of the game, as their defense has really solidified it. Tetons have stalled out a little bit. Pushing up the court is Colvin, be guarded by Yambi. Going to hand it off to Weems. Weems looking up, and there's going to be a steal by Hobbs. It's going to be 2-on-3. Hobbs slows it down. Didn't have anything developing down low. Marks was all alone on the wing, couldn't find him. Yambi wide open straight away. 3-pointer off the mark, no good. Pulled down by Diu. And another empty set for Williston State, who have went dry here the last couple of minutes from the field. Diu works himself up, hands it off to Colvin. Colvin pushes over to the left-hand side of the court, looking for Weems. One-on-one now with Yambi. Good defense by Yambi to not allow the drive. Diu on the low post against Sterling. Fade away, step back jumper off the mark, no good. Offensive rebound by Weems, no good. That's going to be a loose ball into the hands of Brown. Brown gets it underneath, and that's going to be up, no good. Tipped out again, and Brown's going to come away with it again. Shot clock didn't reset. Now 9 on the clock. Brown has it up on top. Calling for action. He's going to drive on Olsen. Long 17-footer off the mark. No good. Hobbs comes down with the board, and the Tetons get a stop. Hobbs now working his way up the court. Lots of hand checking. Weems going to come away with it, and they'll get Hobbs on the foul. Coach Herman has his arms crossed and not believing his guys can't get a call on that one. Instead, they commit the foul, just the 4th team foul on Williston State. But that will send number 3, Days Pleasant, to the stripe for a pair here with 1:24 left to go in the first half. To send Weems to the line for 2 more. So Weems' first one up and good. Again, he knocks another one down. As substitutions abound for the Tetons. Out of the game goes Hobbs, Olsen, and Marks. Back in comes McDonald Johnson, as well as Massey. Second one is going to be up and good as well by Weems. Going back up the court are the Tetons. Yambi has it up on top. He gets it over to McDonald, who drives, gets a step, floats, shoots, good to go. Josiah McDonald with 2 more. He has 10 in the game. 10-point game now. 8 back to an 8-point game. 37-47. Dieng has it in the mid-post region against Sterling. Jump hook, kisses it off the board, up and in, back to a 10-point advantage. McDonald pushes back up. He'll pick up a Sterling screen, bounce pass over to Yabi. He'll drive, gets into the paint, floats it up, and lots of contact, no call. Rebound comes down for the Cardinals, gets it into the corner for Weems. Back up on top to Dia. He fires again from deep, and he's going to knock down another one. Up to a 13-point game, under a minute left to go in the first. Yambi pushes it across the timeline. He'll push over to the left-hand side to Massey. Back to Yambi. Zone defense by this Cardinals team. High post to Johnson, gets bumped from behind, flips it up, and that'll go in there for Ian Johnson. And the basket will count, but there will also be an offensive foul called. And that's going to go on Sterling. A little bit of a push down low. Just the 15th foul. First personal on Sterling, which bodes well here heading into the second half. Yambi hounding Colvin on top of the perimeter. He's going to kick it over to Weems. Weems guarded by Massey to strip up the court. John McDonald doing a good job shooting the passing lane. Back to Weems. He's going to drive baseline. He'll spin. Fade away jumper. No good. Offensive rebound goes down to the Cardinals. 6 seconds left. Here comes a drive. Kick back out to Diu. He's going to drive. Fire blocked by McDonald. 1 second left. And that's going to be no shot going to come at the buzzer as Yambi drew it out. And that'll be the halftime score of 52-41. Tetons trail by 11. And a big, big barrage of three-pointers by this North Idaho squad in the first half. They have 7 three-pointers made, led in scoring by Vaughn Weems with 18. We're going to take a short break. When we come back, we will have a halftime scoring report for both squads. We're back in just a little bit. You're listening to Teton Athletics on the Williston State College Tetons YouTube page.
sportsman, it's time to announce tonight's Bubble Dirtiest Car. Which Chevy Suburban, license plate number 077 AAP. Chevy Suburban, license plate number 077 AAP. Please come play your on pass to Bubble for your call.
Michael back here for Teton basketball on Williston State YouTube. Teton's basketball page. And take a look at the halftime scoring for both teams. We'll start off with the Cardinals of North Idaho College, who have an 11-point lead at the break, 52-41. They're led in scoring by Vaughn Weems, who has 18 points. And he has made all 5 of the free throws attempted at the line by this North Colorado team. He's been getting to the rim, doing it on both ends of the court. 12 points from Dane Diu. He came on strong late in that first half. Knocked down a couple of three-pointers. 12 points at the break for him. Dace Pleasant has 11 points. 4 points from Sam Marbury. 4 points by Totoko Wynyard. And 3 points coming in from Naquan Brown, hitting a three-pointer early on in the game. Williston State's led in scoring by Rex Sterling. He has 14 points at half. 10 points coming in from Josiah McDonald. 5 points from Ian Johnson. He had those all early. He scored the first bucket of the game for Williston State. It was a three-pointer that started things off. Tetons got up to a 6-point lead early in that first half. 3 points from Makai Marks. 3 from Ben Yambi. 2 from Freedom Leon. 2 from Eden Hobbs. And 2 from Will Olson. Looking at some of the advanced stats, the stats that we do have at this point, and if you said the Tetons shot 50% from the field, they'd be down by 11 at the break. Well, that's because this Cardinal team is shooting 60% from the field, hitting 20 of 33 shots, including 7 of 10 from beyond the arc, and all 5 of their free throws in this first half. The Tetons, 16 of 31 from the field, for 51%, 5 of 12 from deep for 41%, and just 4 of 7 from the charity stripe for 57%. Looking at free throw shooting for the Tetons, and it has been Sterling who has made all 4 of their free throws, and he's been the only Teton who made it to the stripe, as he had some big-time efforts down low. Tetons looking to get a big second-half effort from McDonald and Hobbs to go along with Sterling. See if they can't wipe away this 11-point deficit and get the win here at home in front of the Teton faithful in the Well in Williston. Final minute left to go before we get underway for the start of the second half. Tetons looking to see if they can't battle back in a hard-nosed matchup against a very, very solid North Idaho College Cardinal team. We'll join you here in just a second for the start of the second. You're listening to Teton Basketball on the Williston State Teton YouTube page. Back here, just about set to start this second half. Tetons will have the ball. They'll come out with their starting 5 of Johnson, Sterling, Olson, Inget, and Marks. A little bit of a shakeup for North Idaho. It'll be Weems, Diu, Brown, Colvin, and Marbury. Tyson Inget starts off with the ball. He'll get it off on the far wing over to Makai Marks. Johnson looking high post, nothing there. He finally forces it over to Johnson, looking down low for Sterling. Johnson drives, reverse layup, up and good. Now it's going to be a hard hit on the ground for Naquan Brown and Johnson. No call on the play. Teton back within single digits, 52-43 on the American State Bank scoreboard. Marbury has the ball on the far wing, finds Weems up on top to Colvin, down now to Diu, working on Sterling. He's going to have to dish it back out to Colvin, swings around to Marbury. Little shimmy and a shake on Olson, picks up a screen from Diu, nothing there. Good recovery by the Tetons. Eyes and fire by Browns, off the mark. Weems gets the board, puts it up and over the top of Sterling for 2 more. Back up comes Williston State as they look to chip away at this lead. Inget up on top. Gets over to Johnson, back to Inget. Looking for options, puts it on the deck. Reverses, looking, no one there. Johnson, high post, just about lose the dribble. He'll have to curl out to the perimeter. It'll be Marks on the perimeter. He's going to have it tipped away, but right into the hands of Ingett. Gives it underneath to Sterling, flips it up, no good. Sterling has it tipped out of his hands by Brown. They're going to call it off of Sterling and give it back to North Idaho here with 18:44 left to go. Back to an 11-point lead, which was the halftime margin. Marbury walking himself up the court for this Cardinals squad. The Cardinals last night beat Lake Region State. Here they come. It'll be Colvin working around the screen from DU. Kicks it out to Brown. Looking for someone to come open. Finds Marbury. Pick and roll. They find it. Stolen away by Olsen. Into the hands of Johnson. Gives it back to Will. Back comes Williston State up the court. Will gets it off to Johnson. Thought about a big three-pointer. Over to Olsen. Open three. Long. Off the mark. No good. Tetons have been cold from beyond the arc here for the past about 10 minutes of gameplay. Colvin racing up the court. He's going to curl around. He'll pull it back out to the top of the perimeter. Finds Weems. Cardinals reset up. 20 on the shot clock. Weems drives. Powers himself through. Rises. Kisses it off the glass. And two more. Vaughn Weems up to 22 points in the game. All four second half points so far for this Cardinals squad. Johnson bounce pass to Marks. Back to Johnson. He'll push it back up on top of the perimeter. Skip pass over to Ingett. He'll drive baseline. Going to flip it back to Johnson. Quick three-pointer. No good for Ian. It'll be pulled down by Colvin. And back come the Cardinals. Marbury gets it into the corner to Weems. Underneath to Dieng. There's going to be a reach and foul by Rex Sterling. Caught hand fighting with Dieng in the low post. Second personal foul for Rex. It'll be the first team foul on Williston State. The inbound play coming for North Idaho. Colvin set to trigger. Looking underneath Weems. Got a seam, and he gets up and in for two more. He has 24 points in the game. And now it's up to a 15-point lead, 58-43. Tetons need a spark here before this one gets away from them. He get up on top. High post to Johnson. Over to Olsen. Again, Olsen three-pointer. This one, no good. It'll be pulled down by Weems, but it goes through his hands, out of bounds. Him and Marbury were fighting for the same rebound, and it went out of bounds, and they kind of have to chuckle at each other. Here in yesterday's game, when the Cardinals beat Lake Region State 95-78, Teton faithful were cheering on this Cardinals squad, and a big-time jam by Weems, and he, after the game, celebrated a little bit with some of the Teton faithful. Sterling gets the pass underneath, and he's going to lay it up and in. Two more for Rex. He's up to 16 points, back down to a 13-point lead for the Cardinals. Marbury on Olsen on the wing. Pick up a DU screen. Little pick and roll. DU gets it from the wing. He's going to pull up in front of Sterling. Off the mark, no good. Olsen gets a rebound. Gives it over to Rex across the timeline. Bounce pass to Ian Johnson will set things up. Olsen for three. Good look at this one. No good. It's going to be a long rebound. Then Johnson's going to flip it up into the hands of Ingett. Underneath to Sterling. Sterling's going to push it up and in. Hoop in the heart for Rex. And that's going to be number 3 on Naquan Brown. And he lucked out on not getting his third in the first half when he wrapped up Tyson Ingett on a drive. And as we say that, Ingett helps out and picks up a towel to wipe up some of the perspiration from Rex after he hit the deck. So that'll be number 3 on Brown. Sending Sterling to the line. Sterling, who hit got his second chance for a three-point play back at the stripe. Looking to make his 5th free throw of the game, and that one will rim out no good. So Sterling got the Tetons back to within 11 as back comes Marbury, Marbury up on top of the go to DU. Underneath, Brown all alone lays it up and in. Slipped past Olsen to put up the layup. 60-47, back to a 13-point contest. Hobbs set to check in for Williston State on the next stop. More subs may be coming as well. Ingett looking to drive, gets around a corner, and he got caught up in the air. There's going to be a foul by Mekhi Marks, and that saves a run-out layup by Sam Marbury as a trio of Tetons will check in. It will be Hobbs, Yambi, and Massey coming in. Going out of the game is Marks, Johnson, and Ingett. Marbury now coming up the court for the Cardinals up on top to DU. He'll hand the ball off to Weems. looking. He'll swing it over now down low. Diu has a seal on Hobbs, and he's going to put it up and in for an easy 2. Mismatch down low. Got 2 more points for the big man, who's up to 14. Over to Hobbs. Bounce pass in the corner to Massey. Looking for Yambi up on top. Good recovery defensively for this Cardinal squad. Yambi. Little stutter. Olsen now in the corner trap. Gets give and go to Hobbs. He takes a shot in the face, and they're going to call a travel on Eden Hobbs. And he pops up and works his way back down the court. Into the game is Simmons once again. Came in for Brown. A quick substitution for this Cardinal squad. Simmons has it up on top. Hands it off to Weems. Weems up on top to Diu. Cutting down underneath is Marbury. Couldn't find him. 3-pointer on the way, and that's going to be off the mark. No good. Marbury with the offensive rebound. That's no good. It's going to be knocked out of Sterling's hands. We're going to say it's last touch by Williston State. And the Tetons calling for a huddle on the bench. See if they can't shore things up. Pleasant also is checked into the game. Came in for Colvin. Inbound pass coming. It's going to be intercepted by Olsen. Olsen pushes it up the court. Finds Sterling in the paint. Underneath to Massey. Pass was too hot to handle. Sterling hits the deck. It's going to be 5-on-4. Next getting up. Hustling back down the court. See him recover. Weems into the corner. Pleasant gets the blow by Olsen. He kicks it off. Back to Weems. 3-pointer up. No good. Diu gets over the top. No good on the rebound. He hits the deck. Olsen comes away with it. Sterling helps him up. Back comes Will. He gets a free layup up and in by Will Olsen. A little bit of a defensive breakdown. There's going to be a timeout call by the Tetons. Both teams a little out of sorts the last couple of possessions, but Williston State will take the first timeout. They're going to talk about some things. It's just going to be a short timeout here from the well in Williston. We'll be back just shortly for more Teton basketball. 62-49, 14-41 left to go in the first.
Red Rock Ford is a proud supporter of Williston State College team athletics and our community. At Red Rock, we encourage you to get behind our athletes, schools, and local community. Let's support our friends and neighbors as we work together to make our city a great place to live and raise our families. And when it comes time for your next vehicle purchase, see us at Red Rock Ford, where a portion of every dollar spent goes right back into the community you know and love. That's Red Rock Ford, your hometown Ford store, proudly supporting Teton athletics.
Mike, we're back here for Teton basketball on the Williston State YouTube page. Tetons looking to battle back. They're -2 so far in this second half. They trail 62-49 with just over 14.5 left to go. Sam Marbury bringing it up the court. He's being hounded by Josiah McDonald, who's just checked into the game for Will Olsen. Down to Diu in the low post. Steps through. Hobbs is trying to force a miss, but Diu with 2 more. He's having a day himself. Leon said to check in. McDonald on the wing. Up on top to Yambi. Back over to Hobbs. Yambi again calling for a clear out. He has it on the perimeter now. McDonald thought about a quick shot. Pleasant with a good closeout. Back to Yambi, who's going to drive. Gets into the paint. Little floater up. No good. Pulled down by Marbury. Back comes Marbury and the Cardinals. Races up the court. Gets in the paint. Kicks over Weems. Wide open 3. And that one is good. First 3-pointer of the half for this Cardinal squad. Back Yambi. Races up the court for Williston State. Now 67-49. Sterling on the high post. Back to Yambi. Over to Hobbs. Hobbs takes off. He's going to go cut off. He's going to be blocked into the hands of Marbury. 3-on-2 break up the court. Hobbs looking to race. Marbury going to go, and that's going to be up and over everyone. Tipped out of the hands of McDonald, and they're going to give it back to the Cardinals. There's been several calls that on both sides that look like it's been tipped out of their hands, and it's been kept with the team going the other way. So now we'll have a full timeout coming with 13:37 left to go in the game. 18-point lead. Cardinals will retain possession. Teton trying to figure something out to get it going offensively here in this one. We'll be back in about a minute. Back in action we go. There's going to be a tip pass off the inbound. No good. And back come the Tetons. Freedom Leon into the game. Coming in for Eden Hobbs. And ball's going to be tipped out of bounds by the Cardinals. Tetons retain possession here. 13:31 left to go. Back up the court comes Williston State. Ben Yambi has it up on top. Picks up his dribble. Finds Richard Massey on the far wing. A little bit of confusion offensively for the Tetons. Yambi looking to drive, and he zigged. Thought Massey was going to zig when he should have zagged. The ball goes out of bounds. Turnover for Williston State. Back into the game, number 24 for the Cardinals. Number 24, Simmons. Also back in there is number 3, Pleasant. Pleasant gets it off to Marbury up on top of the perimeter. Now finds Diu working on Leon. Leon trying to work it underneath to Marbury. Finds some open space. Gets it up and in for 2 more. Marbury with 6 points in the game. Tetons now down by 20 points. 69-49. Under 13 minutes left. Yambi over to Massey. Back to Yambi. Thought about a 3-pointer. Had to re-grab. Up no good. Going to be saved by Leon. Tried to find McDonald on the perimeter, but it's going to go out of bounds. It'll give it back to the Cardinals here with 12:37 left to go on the American State Bank scoreboard. A little bit of full press coming by McDonald as he's going to pick up Marbury in the backcourt. He'll flip it over to Diu, who will cross the timeline. Picked up at the perimeter by Leon. It's over to Pleasant. Back to Marbury. Looking down low for Diu. Can't find him. Weems underneath to Diu. Little pick and roll, 2-man game coming. There's Leon with a steal. He's off to the races, and he's going to lay it up, and he'll be hit. Hooping no harm. Freedom hit the deck hard, and he looks like he's in a little bit of a pain. Big swipe on that foul. And Freedom popped up, and looks like he is good to go. So the Tetons get a much-needed basket and an energy play from Freedom. He'll be at the line for 1 shot. That foul is going to be on Simmons. His first personal, just the second team. Both teams now with 2 team fouls in this second half. Freedom with his 1 shot. That is going to be up and good. 69-52, 12-18 left to go. McDonald working on Marbury up the court. Looking to see if he can hound a defensive turnover. Gets it over to Pleasant, and there's going to be a timeout on the court, an official timeout. It looks like it was a shot clock issue, so they'll reset. Diu set to inbound. A stack play coming for the Cardinals. Up on top of the perimeter, go to Marbury. Work his way. He'll find Pleasant down in the near corner, looking for Diu underneath. On Sterling, got away with a big hook, and he'll find over Marbury in the corner, looking back for Diu. He gets him underneath there, bullies his way against Sterling, and a foul is going to be called. It should go against either McDonald or Leon. We'll see which Teton's going to be called. Looks like it will be on Freedom to send Diu to the stripe for a pair. No, they're going to call that one on Sterling. So a wild call to put that one on Sterling. That'll now be his 3rd personal. Diu with the free throw. First one is going to be up and good. Diu now up to 17 points in the game. 2nd highest scoring for the Cardinals here in this one, trailing Vaughn Weems, who has 27. Again, Diu, next one. That one's going to be in and out. It's going to be tipped away from Leon, but he'll re-save it. And him and Weems get momentarily tangled up, but he gets the ball into Yambi's hands. He'll cross over up on top to McDonald, who lets one fly. In it goes! Rainbow 3-pointer from Josiah McDonald. A much-needed long ball. Back comes Vaughn. He'll lay one up and in. And the Tetons slow to get back on defense as Marbury goes the distance, coast to coast. Back comes Yambi up the court for the Tetons. 72-55. Yambi looking down low for Sterling. He drives, gets cut off. Back to McDonald. Caught up on the wing, high post. Leon back to McDonald. Quick 3 for Josiah. That's going to be no good. Pulled down by Simmons. Back comes the Cardinals, gets it over to Pleasant, who marches up the court, picked up at the perimeter by Massey. High screen from Simmons, gets around a curl, cut off, step back floater from the elbow, no good, pulled down by McDonald. He comes with a head of steam. He'll get into the body of Marbury, cut off, into the corner. Yambi thought about a 3-pointer, gets it underneath to Sterling, working on Simmons. He's triple teamed under enough, but he gets it up and in with a reverse layup. 2 more for Rex Sterling, who has 20. Now Marbury pushing up the court against McDonald. He's going to be cut off by Josiah. Spin move. Good help from behind. Goes baseline. Yambi right there. And that one will be missed by Marbury. Back come the Tetons. Showing some signs of life. McDonald on the perimeter. He's going to lose a handle on the ball. Loose ball. It's going to be tipped away again. Picked up by Yambi. And it looks like he saved it from going out of bounds. They're going to say it's back to the Tetons. So another questionable call. That one looked like it should have been back to the Cardinal. Bodies on the floor. And the Cardinals campaigning that there should have been someone out of bounds or on McDonald. We're going to have a substitute coming in. Out of the game is going A.J. Simmons. Bryce Henry checking back in. Inbound play now coming for Williston State. Looking to see if they can't start to tick down this 15-point lead. And while we had a little bit of a break there, a little friendly jostling for position between Weems and Sterling, the two dynamic scorers for both teams. Leon pops high. He'll have to cut in towards the ball, picks it up from Yambi. Yambi working, high ball screen from Sterling. Jump stop, floats, puts it up, no good. Tipped back by Sterling, that one's no good. Pulled down by Weems and the Cardinals. Here they come up. Long pass out over to Henry. Henry on the perimeter. He'll peel it back out. He'll set up in the half court. Up on top to Marbury. Coach Herman clapping for his guys, looking to lock in defensively. There's Henry. McDonald pokes it out. It's going to be out of bounds. And they say it's back with the Cardinals. Very, very close to McDonald's forcing the turnover. Instead, it'll be an inbound play for North Idaho. 10:08 left to go in the second. Marbury slowing things down for his squad. Henry setting a high screen. Nothing doing now. Coming to you. Or to go to Pleasant on the perimeter, guarded by Yambi. Little shimmy to Shank, rises and fires. Three-pointer up, and it's going to be stolen away from McDonald by Weems, and he puts it back up and in. He's up to 29. 74-57, 17-point lead. Inget and Johnson set to come in at the next stop. Leon kicks it out up on top to Massey. Good closeout by Pleasant to prevent the three-pointer. Sterling underneath, gets it over to Yambi, who'll drive baseline, swing pass to Massey. He's going to float, put it up, and there's going to be an offensive foul on Richard Massey. And he hit you hard on the drive. That'll be a turnover on the Tetons and a foul on Massey. As two subs come in, Leon and Yambi check out of the game. Inget and Johnson check in. The Tetons trail again by 17. They've trailed by as many as 18 in this one. As the Teton student body having a little bit of fun with the bench having a little bit of fun with this bench from Northern Idaho. And it's a fantastic contest between the two teams, but there's not a lot of hostility here between the student body and this opposing team in this non-conference matchup. Henry gets McDonald to fall down, and there's going to be a foul called on Massey. So two fouls on Massey in the last 15 seconds of play. There'll be another inbound play, and the Tetons will now have 3 fouls on Massey, 3 on Sterling, 5 team fouls. They have one more left to give before the Cardinals will be shooting the rest of the way. Weems gets the ball on the far wing. Pleasant looking down low, trying to find Marbury. One-on-one with Johnson on the low post. Spin move. Johnson with a good defense. Marbury forces one up. No good. Diu with the rebound. McDonald tries to say no good. Diu gets his own rebound and puts it back up and in. 19-point lead. Back for the Cardinals. Long pass over to Inget. He takes off. Looks to penetrate. He'll cut off into the corner for Massey. He fires from range. That one's up. No good. Sterling gets the offensive board. He's going to be stripped underneath. Loose ball. Sterling gets it. Rebound. Puts it up again. Reverse layup. And it'll be off the fingertips of the Tetons. Knocked out of bounds by the Cardinals. By the Tetons, they say. And he'll give it back to North Idaho. 8:37 left to go. Cardinals looking to pull away with this one against Williston State. Tetons need an offensive explosion, see if they can start to get it done on the defensive end, but with the big size mismatches all around the court as Pleasant gets the ball one-on-one with Inget on the perimeter. Up on top to Henry. Ball fake, kicks it out to Marbury. Now to Weems. Weems on Johnson. Johnson just about forced the steal. Weems now loses it again. Johnson hounding, and there's going to flood up, lip it up, no good. He's going to come down, and call a late bailout foul. They're letting lots of stuff go, and then a ticky-tack foul underneath. We'll see who it's on. They're going to call a foul on the ground, but it'll still be That was the last foul that the Tetons had to give. That one will be on Ian Johnson. 76-57, 8:10 left to go. Looking for Pleasant, curling around. Open on the baseline, over the top of Inget, no good. Massey comes away with the rebound, gets it off to Inget. It'll be Weems going to pick his pocket. It'll be knocked out of bounds, off the hands of McDonald and out of bounds. And that'll be a sub coming in for Williston State. Massey comes out of the game with 3 fouls. Checking back in for him is Mackay Marks. Another sub coming in. DU out of the game for the Cardinals. Checking back in now, Naquan Brown, one of the starters. Brown playing with 3 fouls. The lone Cardinal in foul trouble here at the 8-minute mark on the American State Bank scoreboard. Marbury gives the ball over to Brown. Now to Henry on the far wing, being hounded by McDonald. Up on top to Weems. Looking to drive on the Tetons. There's going to be a block underneath, but Henry picks it up. Out to Brown underneath. Brown looks to drive baseline, and he'll put it down with the two-handed flush to put the Cardinals up by 21, 78-57. Johnson has the ball on the perimeter. Tapped by Weems. He's going to come away with it, and he'll be fouled by Inget. And that'll save another run out by this Cardinals team. And that will be a 1-and-1 coming here with 7:29 left to go. So it will be Weems at the line, who currently sits at 29 points in the game. And the Tetons, with that foul, they're going to take a timeout to see if they can't find something to go right for them here, as they now trail by 21 with a 1-and-1 coming. We're going to take a quick break. When we come back, more Teton basketball here on the Williston State YouTube page. Micro back here for Teton basketball. Before we get back going, we'd like to mention one of the Teton sponsors, McKenna Forsberg Law, the proud sponsor of Teton Athletics. At the line is number 0 for this Cardinals team, Vaughn Weems. First half of the 1-and-1. That one's going to rattle down and drop in. Weems now up to 30 points in the game, and he's having himself a contest. There's been a couple of standout performers here for this North Idaho team, for both the men's and women's. The second one goes in. They have themselves some big-time players on the men's and women's squad, as the lead is now ballooned up to 23 points, 80-57, 7:22 left to go. Yambi has the ball, hands it off to McDonald, working his way around the perimeter. Deep three for McDonald, off the mark, no good. Pulled down by Brown, and he'll get it off to Weems, who will march up the court. Here with 7:09 left to go. Brown driving, shimmy to shake. He'll dump it off underneath and put it up and in. 2 more for Dace Pleasant, who's up to 13 points. Will Olson set to check into the game, as does Freedom Leon on the next stop. Another sub set to come in for the Cardinals as well. McDonald again, he looks to drive on Brown, throws up a wild shot, and somehow it goes. Circus shot, Josiah McDonald behind the backboard, and it dropped in for 2. Weems now has the ball, driving on McDonald. He'll be turned away, looks to split a couple of defenders, and he's going to be fouled by McDonald. And a tough play there by Weems, who looks like he took a big shot on that one. 82-59, the couple of subs coming in, and there's going to be a push by McDonald, who had Brown leaning into the Teton huddle. The first sign of any kind of animosity between these two teams, and a little bit of Brown knowing what he was doing, trying to lean in to listen in on the Tetons, setting up their next play. Weems again at the stripe. First one on the way. That one is up and good. Out of the game comes McDonald. In for him is Olson. And Johnson checks out with Leon coming in. For the Cardinals, out of the game is going to go Henry. And checking in is Mehmet Benner for the first time. Weems' second one is up, and he'll miss his first free throw of the game. Freedom pushes the ball up the court. Olson is wide open into the hands of Weems. One-on-one with Yambi, and there's going to be a foul. And the circus shot is going to go in, but they're going to say it's on the ground. And Weems again having some words to say to the Teton crowd. So that foul, see who is going to be on. That will be called on Yambi. Here with 6:22 left to go. So the shot won't count, but that'll send Weems back to the line. We'll have a 1-and-1 coming for Von Weems, who's at 32 points and counting. At the line, Weems for a pair. First one, in and out, no good. Pulled down by Yambi, who pushed the ball up the court. Olson all alone from the perimeter, gives it underneath to Sterling. Sterling could be hounded, gets hit hard on the arm by Irvin, who picks up his fourth. So quick fourth foul on Ja'Cory Irvin. No, just the third on Irvin. It's Brown, who also has 3 fouls. So that'll put Rex Sterling at the stripe for 2. Richard Massey pops up to the scorer's bench, ready to check in. Rex Sterling misses his first one. Makai Marks will check out of the game as Sterling gets ready for his second of 2 from the line. Sterling gets set to go. Here comes the next one. That one is up and good. So Rex 1 for 2 from the stripe. 83-60 now Tetons. Still trailed by 23 points. Bringing it up the court is going to be Benner. Over to Weems, crosses over on Massey. Gets in, kicks it out into the corner. Benner open 3, and that one's going to be in and out. No good. Rebound going to be put down. And that short dunk by Irvin pushed the lead up to 25. 85-60. 5:45 left to go. Massey has the ball, looking underneath for Sterling. Kicks it out to Olson. Thought about a three-pointer. Olson puts it on the deck. Looking up on top. Yambi. High post. Leon over on the perimeter to Massey. Can't handle a pass. Out of bounds it goes. And the Tetons turn it back over. Like an inadvertent buzzer there from the scorer's bench. As it'll be a full court press coming up for Williston State. Inbound play goes to Pleasant, who'll be guarded by Olson. He'll cross over, flip pass over to Benner, back to Pleasant, who will pull it back to set up a half-court set. High screen coming from Irvin. Little give and go. Irvin going for the open. He'll put it down for 2. The Cardinals looking to pour it on here against Williston State. Lead is up to 27. And it's going to be Yambi who gets stripped, and he's going to be fouled on the reach in. After he got the ball, after he was stripped, we'll see who is on. That's going to go on Brown. That'll be number 4 for him. So Diu, who is at the water jug getting a drink, he'll have to race to check in. And he'll come in for Brown, who picked up his 4th. So 4th for Diu, just the 4th team foul on the Cardinals here in the second half. Inbound play coming to Yambi, finds Massey, over to Olson. Olson looking for someone back in the corner to Massey. He drives, bounce pass to Sterling, who puts it up, and Rex for 2 more. He's up to 23 in the game for Williston State. 87-62. Back up the court, they get up to Diu across the timeline. He'll pull it back, set up the half-court set. It's going to be stolen away by Yambi. Yambi weaving through traffic. He'll get it underneath, down low, underneath pass to Olson. Olson has to peel out. Diu is there with the defense. Ball fake. Cross court over to Massey. In the corner to Yambi for three. Off the side of the backboard. No good. And back come the Cardinals up the court. Now 4.5 left to go. Pleasant fires from range. That one's up and good. Dace Pleasant with another three-pointer. And there's going to be a timeout called on the court by the Cardinals here with 4:25 left to go. 90-62. 28-point lead for the Cardinals. And we'll take a quick break here before we step away. We have a word from one of our sponsors. Ruac Resources is a locally owned and operated ready-mix concrete, trucking, and sand and gravel producer. From large infrastructure projects to your driveway, they can provide top-quality products with uncommon hospitality. Give them a call, 701-664-3500. In addition, if you want to join a growing dynamic team, they're looking for different positions from CDL drivers to mechanics to heavy equipment operators. Their core focus is serving others and each other. Check them out online or on Facebook, ruacresources.com. Back here for Teton basketball. Tetons trail by 28 points, 4:25 left to go. And the Cardinals have pulled away from their 11-point halftime lead. Back come the Tetons up the court. Yambi pushing the ball across the timeline, looking high post. Sterling over to Olsen now in the corner. Tetons have went dry from deep, and that'll be over to the Cardinals now after the tip out. Sterling tried to reel in the rebound. McDonald off the bench, said to check in. He'll come in for Will Olsen. So Josiah McDonald, who had a hot hand in the first half, he's sitting at 15 points. That'll be up to Benner marching up the court against Massey. He'll cross the timeline, calling for a clear out. We're going to drive, cut off by Massey. He's going to get down low. He's going to be fouled by Massey, and that'll put now Benner to the line for a pair here with 4:01 left to go in the game. Brown said to check back in for this North Idaho squad, and just he was about to come in, his coach pulled him back, put him on the bench. That's foul number 4 on Richard Massey. And Will Olsen up to the stripe, set to check in. First one, up and no good before Benner. Olsen comes back into the game. He'll take the place of Massey, who is likely done with 4 fouls. Second of 2 from the line for Mehmet Benner. Next one up. That one rattles in. It's every part of the rim and drops. Now makes it 91-62. Long pass over to Leon. McDonald, big pump fake. Gets Pleasant in the air. Tries to do something with it. Goes for a little floater. Up and good. 2 more for McDonald. As the Tetons now go within 30 points. 91-64. Benner bringing it up the court. Guarded by Yambi. And there's going to be a steal by McDonald. He's off to the races. And here comes a slam by Josiah McDonald. Puts it down for 2 more. He has 19. Inbound pass goes to Pleasant. Back to Benner. Work his way up the court. Trap coming for the Teton. Ball's going to be flipped over to Pleasant, who works his way up to the top of the perimeter. Under 3.5 left. Weems has the ball, working his way around. Crosses over on McDonald the other way. Going to go up. He'll be blocked by Sterling, who comes away with it. A 4-on-1 break. Sterling gets it over to Olsen, who's going to put it up and put it down himself. 2 more for Will Olsen. 91-68. Benner coming up the court, being guarded by Yambi. Gets a snap and gets across the timeline. Olsen just about with the takeaway. And there's going to be Weems, who gets the nice pass, and he'll go with a reverse layup up and in underneath. McDonald up the court for the Tetons. Looking high post now, Leon over to Yambi. He takes a long 3. Now it's not going to hit anything as the Tetons give it back to the Cardinals. Benner coming back up the court. He'll drive, Euro step through, flips one up, rolls off the rim. Leon with the rebound, and Olsen pushed it back up the court for Williston State. Olsen bounce pass over to Yambi in the corner to McDonald. Close out, he'll be double teamed, and it's going to be a collision, and Weems going to come out, and he'll go for miss the windmill dunk Olsen pushing up the court as he'll cross the timeline here with 2:08 left to go. Freedom Leon, corner three up, no good. Fight for it, and it'll be stolen back away by McDonald. Tetons retain possession. McDonald shimmy on Bemmer. He's going to drive. He'll be cut off on the low post. Over to Yambi. Yambi up on top to Olsen. Three-pointer from Will. That goes in. Will Olsen with three more. Will up to 9 points in the game with 1:45 left to go. Sub coming in on the next stop for this Cardinals squad. Benner bringing it up the court, and there's going to be a reach-in foul on Yambi, looking to take it away again. And here comes some reserves for Williston State as they clear the benches here for the final 1:36 left to go. So Yambi picks up his third personal. They'll have to wait for the subs until the first free throw. So that'll put Benner at the line. He's 1 for 2 so far from the stripe. So the day is likely done for the majority of the players out on the court for Williston State. Benner at the line for the two-shot bonus. First one on the way. That one soft off the front of the rim. No good. He'll have one more. The only player staying out there for Williston State will be Freedom Leon. Coming back in is going to be Eden Hobbs. He'll be joined by Carson Hare, as well as number 20, Ao Iwaro, getting his first run. And finally, he'll be joined by Carter Smith. Second free throw is going to be up and good by Benner. Tetons working up the court. Hobbs has it on top of the perimeter. Gets it over to Smith. He'll pull back. Smith to Hare. Take one dribble. Pass down low. Smith for three. Off the mark. No good. Tipped up, and it'll be pulled down. Pulled down by the Cardinals. They'll push it back out. 1:50 left to go in the game. Weems holding on to it. He'll take some time off the clock. Io coming up to defend. High post waiting. Weems holding on now. Back into the game is Wynyard. Got the start, but has not seen much action. Weems pulls up a long two-point jumper. That's going to be off. He'll get his own rebound. He'll drive up, flip it up, and it's going to be, he'll save it, but it'll be triple teamed underneath. Smith's going to save it from going out of bounds. Leon will pick it up, and it'll be Hare picks it up. He'll cross over against Weems and push it across the timeline. Under 60 seconds left to go, now down to 43. Hobbs, high post, fade away, mid-range jumper, kips it off the glass, up and in. Eden Hobbs with two more. It'll likely be, this will be the last possession of the game for the Cardinals. About a 6-second differential between the shot clock and the game clock. Hare looking to try and poke the ball away. Here comes the drive now. Stepping back out is going to be Colvin, who's back into the game. Colvin guarded by Hare. 10 seconds on the shot clock. Cardinals may take a shot clock violation here. We'll see. No, calling for one last play. Hare guarding. Good defense. A wild shot thrown up. No good. Hobbs comes down to the ball. Tetons have 5 seconds left, and Hobbs will just dribble this one out. Tetons will drop at home to this North Idaho Cardinals team. 94-73. We're going to take a quick break, and we'll break down all the scoring for both teams. You're listening to Teton Volleyball right here on the Williston State College YouTube page.
Save on STIHL outdoor power equipment this fall at Acme Tools. Right now, save $50 on the MS250 18-inch gas chainsaw. Built for tough tasks and reliable performance. Plus, save up to $50 on a new STIHL backpack blower or blower vac and leave the raking up to the neighbors. And the expert service technicians at Acme Tools can get your hard-to-start power equipment tuned up and ready for those fall projects. Find your STIHL this fall at Acme Tools or online at acmetools.com.
Mike Ruder here, wrapping things up for the Tetons and their loss 94-73 to North Idaho. Taking a look at the scoring for North Idaho. Von Weems with 34 points in the game. He was all over the place. 19 points from Deng Diu, 16 points from Dace Pleasant, 8 points coming in from Sam Marbury, 7 points from Naquan Brown, 4 each from Ja'Cory Irvin and Tautuko Wynyard. 2 points in from Mehmet Venner, and those two came on free throws down the stretch. Overall in the game, 28 2-point field goals, 9 3-point field goals made by the Cardinals, and they hit 11 shots from the stripe. Looking over at Williston State and the Tetons, they're led in scoring by Rex Sterling, who had 23, Josiah McDonald with 19, 7 points from Ian Johnson, 9 from Will Olson, 5 from Freedom Leon, 4 from Eden Hobbs, 3 from Ben Yambi, 3 from Makai Marks. Rounds out the scoring for Williston State. The Tetons in 30 overall field goals on the game, 23 2-pointers, 7 3-pointers, and hit 6 from the charity stripe. Sterling accounted for 5 of those 6 free throws made, and the other came from and 1 from Freedom Leon. So the Tetons fall to 4-3 on the season. The Cardinals advance to 4-3. Taking a look at what is coming up ahead for the Tetons. They're still early on in the season, have yet to hit their conference schedule, which will start over at the beginning of the new year. Coming up next for Williston State, they will have a home game here. Getting ahead of ourselves. They'll be on the road November 22nd at Minnesota North Vermilion as part of the Dairy Queen Classic. And then they'll be on the road again the next day at Minnesota, at the same Dairy Queen Classic at Minnesota North College Vermilion against Minnesota North College Ithaca. And then here a home game will be against Dickinson State University's JV squad. That'll round out November. Finally, some home games, the last of the non-conference home games for Williston State. They'll be here on December 6th against Northwest College in another big-time matchup. And then on December 10th, on a Tuesday, they'll have Nueta Hitsta Sanish College for Military Appreciation Night. Looking over at Teton women's basketball to see what they have coming up. The Teton women, who look to improve after a big-time win here this evening, they're at 4-2 overall, 5-2 overall. They'll be also on the road at Minnesota North Vermilion for a couple of games. Then the home game against Dickinson State JV, Northwest College on December 6th, and United Tribes in a non-conference game here in Williston on the 10th. That'll wrap it to all road games for Williston State. They'll be on the road down for their yearly Arizona trip for a trio of games, and then the conference season starts here in Williston on January 19th. They'll be up against Bismarck State College on the 19th and United Tribes on the 20th. So a long road to go for Williston State for both teams to find out who they are and what they can do for some non-conference matchups before they hit the conference schedule. That will start on January 8th for both teams on the road against Dakota College of Bottineau. This will be it for this edition of Teton Athletics right here on the Williston State College YouTube page. Till next time, sports fans, I'm Mike Reuter.